All right, folks, it's a pop-up impromptu video from Yokohama. I am at the Ramen Museum with my family. We're on a little staycation here, celebrating my son's graduation. The sakura are in bloom, and we're at Shin-Yokohama Raumen Museum, and we're gonna eat some ramen. I don't know if this is gonna go over that well, but we're gonna do our best. Okay, let's go. Dun, 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 dun. I'm not sure how much it costs. My lovely just scored the ticket, but I think the idea here is that you can learn a little bit about the history of ramen. There's the insane magazine collection of great ramen in Japan. And ramen is Japanese culture. Ramen is like super over the top Japanese culture. This is the pickled bamboo. There's the beautiful bamboo root, takenoko. Is ramen a Japanese or Chinese dish? Ramen is the fusion of Chinese noodles dishes and Japanese food culture. Interesting. Undoubtedly, Chinese noodle dishes are the root of ramen. Cuisine from many different countries entered Japan after 1859 when the ports were open. Ramen was developed through the blend of Chinese noodle dishes and Japanese food culture. In other words, the father of ramen is Chinese noodle dishes and the mother is Japanese food culture. I love that. Cooks started to use Japanese food ingredients such as dashi, which is Japanese-style soup stock, and naruto, fish cakes, which have been used in traditional Japanese noodle dishes including soba and udon. This meant the addition of Japanese food culture to the Chinese noodle dishes. Okay, we're gonna learn about ramen. Unlimited ramen recipes with the combination of 5 elements: broth, seasoning, noodles, toppings, and oil. That's what makes ramen ramen. So there are these ramen maniacs in Japan who go and find ramen over and over. The best ramen, the best ranked ramen, the best pork stock ramen, the best fish stock ramen, the best shoyu, soy sauce based ramen. 5 or 10 different kinds of main types of ramen. Shoyu ramen, which is like a soy sauce based. Tonkatsu, which is like a pork based. Miso ramen, which is fermented soybean paste. Miso, we all know miso. Miso tonkatsu, the fusion of miso and tonkatsu ramen. Shio is salt ramen. Tantan men is from China. It's the spicy one. These are the general classification by style. Dipping ramen, tsukemen is a really nice one where you take the noodles and you dip them in the soup, and it's there's actually like a science to like pulling the broth into your mouth while it sort of comes upon the noodles. I couldn't be able to explain it to you. Maze-men, where you mix it up yourself. Summer ramen, oh, that's hiyashi ramen. This is one of my favorites. This is the cold one with the fresh tomatoes and the cucumbers and that's a really tasty one. Sanman-men, which is from Kanagawa, I don't really know about. And champon is, I think, all mixed up. It's kind of the Nagasaki or South Side style of ramen. Fish ramen, vegetable ramen, thick chicken ramen. I mean, umami is an important element of deliciousness. You've heard about umami. I don't even know if I can explain umami, but there's 5 standard tastes that we say are in Japanese cuisine, and I'm wondering if I can remember them off the top of my head right now. Also, 5 basic ingredients of Japanese food is sa, shi, su, sei, so. Sa is for sato, sugar. Shi is for shio, salt. Su is for osu, vinegar. Sei is for shoyu, which is an old way of writing shoyu, soy sauce. And so is for miso. And then you have something similar in the different tastes that you can have in Japanese cuisine. Sweet, salty, bitter, spicy, and also umami. And umami is this X factor taste. It does not necessarily mean a good flavor. When you find something delicious, you sense the tastiness being affected by many factors, including the odor, texture, atmosphere, and your physical condition, your own physical condition, in addition to the taste itself. Umami is one of the 5 basic tastes: sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. It is the official name of one of the independent tastes. Umami plays an important role in the deliciousness of food. Okay, so here is a really cool ramen yatai. Yatai is like street fair. That would be like a standard, back in the Edo era, you would see a vendor moving along his little rickshaw cart here with the ramen soup, and it's so lovely. We've got the sakura here, and he's got the soup stock and the noodles and the boxes and the different ingredients that make up the delicious ramen. And we can learn all about the different things that you would find in ramen yatai, all the different little components that make up. It's very cool. Names and functions of the yatai parts. And then, of course, cup ramen. College guy surviving on a shoestring budget ramen. Japan is I assume the innovator of cup ramen, where you just basically pour water over dehydrated noodles and the little packs of spice, and you get these inexpensive bowls of ramen. But people get really innovative with how they package up their ramen, and they've found really amazing ways to recreate their in-house tastes in a cup noodle format. So that's very cool. We'll probably make our own cup ramen while we're here, and we'll learn a little bit about it. And everybody's excited to see all the maruchan. Maybe you grew up on some of this stuff in your college days. These used to be like $5 for a buck or something back home. There's all the different ones, and we are here at the home of these kinds of places. There's our map of Japan. You can see there's Hokkaido up there, and Honshu, and Shikoku, and Kyushu down here. And every region of Japan will have a different type of ramen taste. And when you go to the different areas of Japan, Hokkaido is very famous for its fish-based ramen. I can see something spicy here, maybe from Chiba, and somebody is going to school me on my lack of ramen knowledge because I don't eat ramen that much. Ramen is like a great dish to eat when you're 20 years old and when you've had an all-night crazy dancing and drinking and partying night at the club. You wake up after a crazy night, and ramen is like the comfort food that you want. It's sort of the classic greasy diner, greasy spoon that just sort of takes the hangover away and gets you back to ground zero. And when you get to be 30 something or 40 something or 50 something, you can only do it once or twice a year. It just becomes really heavy. But still, I know friends who, they're connoisseurs of ramen, and they go from neighborhood to neighborhood, from town to town in search of the best ramen. I can already tell this is going to be way cooler than I expected it to be. I am going to just show you some glimpses of it because I actually don't want to miss it. I want to learn a little bit about it myself, and so I'm gonna enjoy a little day here at the museum. I'll show you what I can. I see some history of ramen here. We've got a wall of the timeline of ramen that goes back to 1488, 1697, and milestones in ramen's history. I can see the oldest ramen in Hakodate, which is a famous place in Hokkaido, the birth of ramen, dissemination of Chinese cuisine in home cooking, Sapporo's first ramen, 1923, split between Chinese cuisine in 1930, black market ramen of 1945 after the war, the beginning of Ramen Yokocho in Sapporo. Ramen Yokocho is maybe the famous alley where you can see lots of different ramen shops side by side and maybe go try one after another. 1955, the origin of tsukemen and the dipping type, origin of the world's first instant ramen. This must be the guy. Momofuku Ando, maybe he invented the first. I think I read that this was like an accident. It was like an accidental invention. Like he left the noodles out in the factory and then they dried, and then he tasted them and they were like, hey, we could actually, and then they like reconstituted them with water, something like that. I'm gonna learn, and maybe I'll report back a little bit later. Gourmet ramen boom coming, 1975. The birth of Kitakata, the ramen town. They have a whole town dedicated to ramen. Big tonkatsu ramen. Tonkatsu is the one that just, it blows you away. The ramen chef boom. So now you go to festivals, you follow ramen by these chefs who make it. Sort of like in our record-loving world, we follow, sometimes the producers, mastering engineers, and now people follow ramen by the chef. Tsukemen boom was huge in the last couple of years, 2007. The globalization ramen. Probably there's ramen places in your hometown now. If you're living in a city that's got a nice Eastern culture, Far East cuisine, you probably have a ramen shop in your town. Are they as good as what you find in Japan? I'm guessing not, but they're trying. So let's see what happens. Michelin's giving stars to ramen shops. Then the future of ramen here. We dream of a future where people all over the world are eating ramen. Until the day ramen is known throughout the world, we will continue to spread the word. So it's almost like a pretty touching story, ramen. So yeah, I've heard about the Ramen Museum for ages and I've never been. It just wasn't something that was going to necessarily spark my interest. But I think I'm glad I'm coming. This is a little ingredient that you sometimes find in ramen. I'm forgetting the name, but it's the fish cake. Minced fish that gets pressed into a kind of a cake. It sounds not that appetizing, but it's quite nice. Really cool. This looks like what it would an old ramen shop in the Edo era might look like. And here's our like chef that we might follow. And down here, we can see the different norens for the different types of ramen shops that we might find. See some nice advertisements, people that love ramen. The noren is the signage that ramen shops put outside their business to signify that they're open for business. And I can come down here and I can see all the different types of ramen bowls and they're all very beautiful. Arigato, thank you. I can see the sort of Chinese motifs. Okay, interesting. They have even dates and timelines and areas. And so, yeah, that's pretty cool. You can see all the different ramen bowls. I've never even thought about this before. So this is very cool. There's sort of a abstract bowl. Here's a Canadian Japan one with the two flags, the maple leaf and the Hinomaru. Very cool. Maybe here are some sponsors, the different ramen shops and more signage. I'm not sure what's going on. Maybe there was a ramen shop in the first Shinkansen bullet train station and we're getting glimpses of ramen history. I love this kind of motif, this 60s, 50s, 60s Showa era style of font, typeface, and graphic design. It's like supremely cool and vintage. Then down here, I'm not sure where we're going next, but it's a tour. Wow, wow, check this out. Wow. We're going back in time. Very cool. It's an old pachinko parlor and there's ramen shops and there's people waiting in little lines to try all the different ramens. You can basically, I think, try many little bite-sized ramen shops and yeah, it's like a museum of ramen shops. I see Kateko with their little mascots with some soft cream, really cool. Like ice cream parlor. Wow, it's so cool. And here's what's on offer, a custard. This is for later. This is for a little bit later. Cool old scooter. It's got the Japanese post symbol. This must be the old mail carrier. And here's an old mailbox. So this is in our little virtual land. We can maybe send some ramen off to another country. Maybe there's a little bar here where we can have some drinks. Wow, an old phone booth. They've got some really cool stuff here. Wow, this place is awesome. This place is actually really cool. It's like a little step into the past. Can you go in here? Okay, so these are like little tachinomi bars that, facades of cool, old little towns. And here's another little ramen shop that you can pop in from Hakata. And so I guess basically outside of every little shop, you can purchase what size ramen you want to have. Maybe you can even like charge up your card so you can try lots of different ramens. It's very cool. Oh, I love this. This is really fun, actually. So I don't know if these are all just like, they're like just like little fake facades, I guess. Like a little village here of, I don't know, 1940s, 50s, 60s. The little candy shop. I forgot what these are called, but oh, they've got the old fake candy cigarettes. Remember those? Since 1951. All the different, the place that the kids would want to go and burn a couple of coins that their mom and dad might give them. I can see like movie star postcards and little candies that are 5 and 10 yen and the little kids are filling up baskets. Yeah, it's like a place to come after school and pick up like a little crafty airplane and your parents might give you a little bit of coins to come and like pick up a couple of candies at the candy store. Then the old style onsen. They've got like a little fake onsen here. That's the ladies. Okay, it's just, it's really cool. I'm going back in time. There's the people hanging the laundry out here on their balcony windows. Wow, this is like what it was like 100 years ago. There's remnants of this in Tokyo, remnants of it around. You'll see the tabi hanging from the back streets of the old east side of Tokyo, old downtown. Here's a soba shop, this is the noren that says we're open for business. The proprietors of the soba shop, they would have lived up here. Fire extinguishers, a cool old scooter. Wow, look at that thing. Woo! And that thing has seen better days, but what a beauty. Oh, and look at this. Here's a camera shop. Wow, very cool. Okay, so this is the camera store from back in the Taisho Showa era. This is really old. They've got a Ricoh Flex for 9,300. Some old, what is that one? Olympus, Konica, Iris, 35. I don't know. And some old movie projectors, and look, some dead stock film in there. I would love to be able to go in here. Very cool. So there's the camera shop. Very cool. Okay. Sure, no problem. Okay. Yeah, man. Here you go. Okay. Oh, nice one. Okay, 3, 2, 1. One more. 3, 2, 1. Okay, there you go.
This place is really awesome.
It's pretty cool, right?
I have to go. I'm going to the cup of noodle after this.
Okay.
It's all day long.
Yeah, it seems like you could enjoy a whole day here. I'm here with my family. They're all just poking around, and I'm just goofing off, checking it out myself. Pretty neat.
It's still cheaper than a museum.
Yeah, right?
And you get a meal.
And you get a meal. Enjoy. Okay, here's a little cigarette booth. You might see something like this. Back in the day with matches and little cigarettes and rolling papers and tobacco. Okay, so there's lots of people. I need to probably go and enjoy. All right, I've made one loop around, and it's time to go find my family and enjoy some ramen. This is pretty cool. Narutobashi Station. It says here, maybe that's the little town that we're in. Narutobashi, the imaginary ramen town where we are visiting. Okay, I hope I can find some good ramen. I'm sure I can. This will be fun, so I'm gonna head down right now. And I'll see you guys when I get my hands on some noodles. Okay, until then, we'll be back. Say hi? You want to say hello?
I'll say hi.
This is our pal Mark Anthony. He was so kind. He just came to me. I made a photo of him he asked me to make maybe the photo was in the video. I hope you don't mind. It might be in the video.
That's fine.
But Mark Anthony asked, we found a cool scooter in our little trip around the town here, and he spotted me on the stairs and said, hey, can I get a picture of you, with this nice scene right here? I said, yeah, sure. He said, let me ask, are you Canadian? And I said, no, why do you ask? He said, you're too friendly.
He is very friendly, very
really
sweet.
nice.
Very nice gentleman here.
Okay, yeah, so he's enjoying Japan for the first time?
20 days in Japan.
20 days in Japan. Okay, so can we follow you on Instagram or something like that?
Mark Anthony is Mora at Instagram.com.
Okay, well, send me the link.
I'll send you the link in the comments.
All right, cool. All right, thanks, Mark Anthony.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
to meet you. Enjoy your ramen.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye for now. All right, we met some nice people, and we got to get some ramen. I think my crew is already eating. Wow, Club Onion. It almost looks like Disc Union, Club Onion. There's the bar. Properly cool. I don't know where the hell I'm going, but they are already waiting in line. I'm gonna go see if I can find my crew. Oh, I see them. Okay, I'm gonna go over and see how their ramen is. They're over there. I might have missed my chance to eat one of the ramens by showing you guys the cool space, but that's nice. That's a nice chance. Okay, they say it's oishii. My crew got some ramen. Which nanoaji? Miso? Tonkatsu. And how is the taste? They've got the spoons, the renge, the hashi, some extra spicy over here if you want to spice it up. So I'm gonna go enjoy some ramen with my family. Really fun. Okay. First ramen for me with my family. I can't read the kanji, but this is how long the noodles are. This is how long they are. One noodle is this length, so they're very, very long. And it's spicy shoyu ramen, so. So a simple taste, but let's enjoy it. Say how it is. Itadakimasu. Mmm, spicy. It's spicy, it's good. Long noodles. Okay, they don't look that long. And there's actually like benefit to slurping your noodles. There's like some kind of, you get more aeration in the in the noodles or something. I don't know why, but they say that if you slurp the noodles, it not only is it not bad manners, it's kind of good manners, and also it somehow makes more flavor come out of the noodles, they say. And then this one, what's this one? Shio. This one's Shio ramen. Looks really tasty. I'm gonna try this one next with some chicken or something. Okay, so the noodles are quite long. Okay, result is good. Thanks, buddy. I had to run out to the car while they ordered food, but you order from the little vending machine, and the vending machine spits out these tickets. The tickets, you hand them over to the chef, and then they take the tickets back to the cook. And it's like a nice kitchen where they get their orders, and then the wait staff servers bring the noodles to you. So got two little minis here. A mini and a mini. It's good though, really. One more interesting thing to point out is that you don't drink. We drink soup in Japan. The verb for eating soup is not to eat, it's to drink. It's considered like brutish to drink the soup and the ramen. You're meant to leave a little bit behind because it's where all the fat and salt is from the ramen, and it's considered quite unhealthy. So people leave after they eat all the men from the soup. The noodles, they leave the soup. And if you're really hungry, you can sometimes order okawari, a second helping of noodles. They'll dump it into your existing soup. Another reason not to drink all of the soup. But sometimes you just can't help it. It's so tasty that you just drink down the whole thing, but it's considered a little bit over the top. So I'm trying to behave by leaving some soup around. So anyway, that was tasty and spicy, but really nice. Thank you. Gochou-sama deshita. I just thought of one more interesting tidbit about Japanese culture. Hashi no ue no yatsu. Hashi no nanka chisai no. Hashioki. Hashioki is a thing where you rest your chopsticks on. It's polite to rest your chopsticks on the hashioki. It's the little like stone or little holder for the chopsticks when you're finished eating. And it's not exactly polite to leave them across the bowl. It's better than this. You never ever leave your chopsticks in the bowl like this, because you would leave them on the hashioki here in front of your dish, or you might leave them on here, although that's not really that polite either. But you would absolutely never leave them like this, because there's something that has to do with Japanese funerals that I don't really want to talk about. It's not really table talk, so stay tuned to the end and I will share it, why you would never do that at the end of the video. Okay, more ramen museum to come. Okay, next we're heading to make some cup ramen. I just want to say bye to our little ramen world over here. Club Onion is an interesting name for a little bar, and there's actually some gents who are having a beer here. The barkeep is keeping the tap flowing, and Bar Onion is a cute name for a bar inside a ramen village, because if you go to these ramen shops, I kind of want to show you what a ramen kitchen looks like. They're quite interesting. I may go back down there and ask them if I can shoot a little bit of the ramen kitchen, but it's really cool, all the various kitchenwares that they have and that are specific only to ramen. If you go to a ramen shop like really early in the morning or really late at night, before they're even open, you'll see them preparing the soup stock. Sometimes it might be just the soup for that day. And if it's a really popular place, they will only prepare enough soup for 50 bowls of ramen or 100 bowls or whatever their capacity is, and once they sell out, it's gone. And they're cooking these big vats of soup, and it's kind of an awful smell, and they're boiling the meat off of the bone and the marrow in the bone, and that's how they get that really rich ramen taste. And you'll also see them peeling onions, which is what got me thinking about this Bar Onion. You'll see these guys preparing the ramen, and they're peeling hundreds and hundreds of onions. It's a main ingredient of ramen. Okay, something kind of interesting here. These are all the different ramen bowls. Another little exhibition of various beautiful ramen bowls. I almost want to stop and have a closer look at them. And now we've reached the Rohaku Sugomen Lab. We're here at the lab to make our own ramen. So here are the food scientists, specialty chefs who are combining the various ingredients and using their scientific culinary knowledge to put together cup ramen, the art of cup ramen. I can see there are all manner of cup ramen. There's the little packets that you grew up on where you kind of just pour water over them, and then there are these other type that are in these sort of pre-made styrofoam bowls. Basically what you do is you buy one of these bowls and they have a little puck of noodles, and then they might have some of these kinds of dehydrated fixings. They might have like a packet of spice, and you reconstitute everything with boiling water and you end up with something like this. Maybe if you're quite gourmet, you might add a little bit of your own cabbage or moyaji or some vegetables or something to make it a little bit more gourmet, but it's a standard issue thing. If you're looking for like a quick lunch or a quick late night meal, you've run out of time, cup ramen isn't like a horrible choice. There's some amazing cup ramen, and it looks like these guys have had this sort of like real ramen experience. I can see behind me, they're making the men, they're making the actual noodles, they're probably making the flour, and they're making a mountain of noodle dough, rolling out the noodles, the men into big sort of balls of dough, and then they use these kind of specialty knives to cut the dough into noodles. And yeah, it's kind of fun. I've done it with buckwheat. It's an experience that you can do in lots of like touristy kind of towns, make buckwheat noodles. I've never actually made the ramen noodles, but I can see there's some like giant take bamboo. I'm assuming they're using those as like rolling pins or something. Now what we're going to do next with the family is we're going to make our own cup ramen. And we have the cup ramen making experience, and we got a list of the things that we can make our own cup ramen with, and if they're going to send it off to the little factory machine, I think that's going to put it all together, and they're going to seal it up for us, and then we'll be either able to take it home or maybe eat it while we're here. Okay, there we go. Here's a little explanation of it. They're using the bowl to make some kiji, some dough, and you could probably, even if you can catch one of those QR codes, you might be able to learn a bit about it. And it looks like they're using this crazy technique, leveraging themselves on the giant bamboo rolling pins, and they're making these sort of doughs, and then they're taking these very special enormous knife after they fold the dough 5 or 10 times, and then they get these long sort of sheets of dough, and then they use these big knives to to make the noodles by hand. Over there we just saw the ramen making class, I guess. Quite cool. This cup ramen making experience was pretty interesting. We're going to customize our own ramen. We're going to maybe even do it on the phone, and it's going to be like an interactive sort of high-tech thing, and then somehow we're going to get our cup ramen. So which is why I found the ramen recipe library here. There seems to be a library of information here. I see slides. Those are the Fujifilm slides. Lots of books and magazines about how to make ramen. And over here, I see more photos, a whole photo library of Hokuriku and Chubu areas, data and karte. This is the charts for the files from the Tohoku area, Hokkaido area, Tokyo area, Kanto, Shichigoku, and Shikoku, all the way down to the Kyushu areas. Those are all the photos that you can see of different ramens. And here's our little lab. There's our little dehydrated ingredients. You're getting the orders. Okay, it's a little low tech, not that high tech, but I can see the girl putting in the bowl. She's setting up the ramen pressing plant. She's put on the ingredients list, the label. Oh, you can even get your photo on the ramen. That's pretty cool. And so there are the various ingredients. Here's the press. It's going into the packaging machine here, and it's getting vacuum packed. Pretty fun. Pretty cool. Yeah, you can decorate your custom ramen. That's what we're looking at here. You can decorate it in your own special way, with your own design, maybe your own photo. They got it all tricked out with the iPhone, things like that. Scroll. Okay, so I got it in English. Uploading the options here. So I'm going to choose red. Toy. Each one will go fat. Okay, so it's not in English. Soup. 一番上はさっきも言った醤油、醤油、あっさり醤油、あっさり塩、豚骨醤油、博多豚骨、博多豚骨、パスタが入ってるね。これは何？白いミルク味噌と最後はシリ辛味噌。めっちゃ辛い。Well, let's try めっちゃ辛い味噌。Okay, let's see. Okay, these are toppings. Negi, need some tamago, need some carrots, maybe. Okay, and we need some. これ何？この麺のやつ。これ麺。納豆いらない。ニンニク大丈夫。That's enough. ナルトは何？あ、ナルトは that's the one we were talking about earlier. ナルト。ワンタン。Ooh, 美味しそう。ワンタンしよう。Wait, I picked too many. Okay, whoops. I want to see again. チャーシューまでは無料。チャーシューは無料。チャーシューしよう。We're all picking our tastes. Special ingredients. Okay, this is the plus. The ingredients plus. Okay, what do we have here? Okay, じゃあ何もない。Just skip. Then 一つだけね。みんな。We're only getting one. でしょ？Present? 1個。600円だけ。じゃあ2つしよう。じゃあ1つだけ。Okay, we picked all our stuff. Original 写真これは何？上は何？ Original no cover. Or this is これは？自分の？じゃあ自分の。Okay. Blue. Oh, I want green. Okay. Well, then we'll have other choices. Okay, so you can pick your colors of your print. Cool. You can pick all of your different. Wow, this is kind of cool. Ooh, can you put your写真入ってるね。Wow, these are cool. I like these. Yabai. I think I'm gonna go for yabai. And then what? I have to pick my photo. 写真を。Okay. 集合写真とてもいいですか？集合写真。Okay, じゃあ let's go quick 集合写真。Okay, guys, pick 集合写真。Okay. Yabai. Okay, so I'm gonna go into my photo library. Oh, maybe this one yabai. I want the yabai one. Okay, that's about as good as it's gonna get. QR code. Okay, 注文する。A little tricky if you don't read a little bit of Japanese, but not impossible. Okay, we have a QR code. Okay, let's go pay for it. Okay, so I'm going to get a little short message. I'm going to get a text that says it's ready. And here are some of the examples of the things that people have made. I wish I'd taken a little bit more time to make my photo a little bit better, but pretty cool. I wanted to say yabai, so which means like, whoa, yabai. Our family photo didn't quite fit in there, but it should be good enough. Everybody's face is in there. So we got to wait about 15 minutes, and then they'll bring us our original cup ramen noodles. Pretty cool. Okay, so my son and his buddies did some ridiculous pretty club when they decorated their faces like the girls do at the little print clubs, little camera shop things that they use all the lipstick and the makeup and the face contorting presets that you can do to make yourself look a little bit ridiculous. And they're going to use that as their photo for the ramen. And yeah, maybe they have like a list of the ingredients here in the little pressing machine that seals it up, and there's our lab technician who is preparing the ramen. She's sealing up the ingredients in the little, packages. I feel a little bit bad, but she's taking our choices, our little orders, and she's putting them into little pouches, and then she's vacuum sealing them, and then putting them inside the ramen. Hermetically, is that the word? In the things. And yeah, it's okay, 4 different kinds of noodles, 8 different kinds of soups, and 20 different kinds of ingredients. And you can get a special ramen museum bag, and yeah, it's pretty fun. The cup ramen making experience. That's pretty cool. And for those who are curious about knowing a little bit more about it, the ramen making class is same day reservation is 5,000 yen, advanced reservation is 4,700 yen, and it takes about 60 to 75 minutes, and it's probably awesome. I've had this experience with the soba, and it's really, really fun. You can see the video of the guy. That's why he's using that giant bamboo for. He's made the dough, and he's smashing it with the giant bamboo. And it's really fun, and it's hard. You got to earn your food. You know, basically you make your noodles. So if you're curious, go scan that QR code. Go learn about the ramen making class, and it's really fun. They have their own little ramen restaurant in there. So you make them noodles, and then you sort of select your ingredients, and then you send it off to the chef, and they finish it up for you, and you get to enjoy the ramen making experience. Okay, our ramen seems to be ready. That didn't take very long, so I'm going to go see here if it's ready. Wow, kawaii, nice, thank you. Oh, that's pretty cool. That's okay, so we got ramen right here. We got these funky little bags that they put them in. Hold on, I'll show you my little result. It's pretty cool. They got this like crazy little origami thing. Hey, not bad. There's my crew. Me and my son and my daughter, my wife and our buddy from school. They just graduated, so we're having a little staycation here in Yokohama. Okay, got my cup ramen, got my souvenir. Maybe we'll have cup ramen night at home for dinner one night later this month. Okay, that was really cool. That was the Dahaku Sogumen Lab. If you want to come and make your own cup noodles, it's part of the Ramen Museum experience. Very cool. Thank you. Arigatou gozaimasu. Itadakimasu.
あのさ、ラーメンいっぱいのさ、日本地図の前で撮ろうよ。ね。
どれが一番好き? Which is your favorite bowl? Ooh, I like that one. Okay, that one's nice. It looks like it's losing its patina. Whoa, here's a double one. That's for like skimming. That's where you dip the soup in the noodles maybe. There's a kappa, maybe, or some lizard. Kappa じゃないかな? Kappa?
こっちもあるよ。
わかる. すごい. It's fun to have the family along for this ride. I think we're gonna go eat some more ramen actually. Okay, to be continued. Let's go check out some. We're gonna get maybe one more ramen and maybe some sweets. It's a happy place. Everybody seems to be quite excited about trying some new ramen and getting their culinary love on. And it's kind of calmed down, I think, now that the afternoon has passed. I want to come in here and have a sundae later, but I think the crew has gone for one more ramen, and I think I'm going to join them. They're back this way. Yeah? Doko? Oh, okay. いいと思う. Kawaii sho? Let's have a sundae to a soft cream, kokuni. Saki ramen tabeyo. All right, nice. We're going to go have some more ramen. I'm happy that my crew is tolerating my obnoxious YouTubing, but I'm mindful that I don't really want to involve them too much, just out of respect. If they pop up, you want to do this one? Okay, we're gonna try to wait in line. This one is a very popular one. Okay, we're gonna go back up the stairs here, get in line for this ramen. Yeah, I'm digging it. Really digging it. Dozo. Yeah, we've got the Eiga no old school movie poster, Toho Cinema. There's a monster movie up there. Can you see that one? There's like a Godzilla sort of thing. What's that one say? Ultraman, the same crew who made Ultraman. And there's the samurai movies, the love story up here. Really exceeded my expectations. I did not expect to be enjoying the Ramen Museum this much. I just was told this era is Showa 33. It's the 33rd year of the Showa era, which is 1958. So if you were in Japan in 1958, you might have seen the first monster movie at the movie theater. You might have seen one of the love story or the samurai story, or the camera shop that you went to might have looked like the one that we saw earlier. You might have seen a little tobacco kiosk, Western architecture motif juxtaposed on these old wooden buildings with tile roof, standard Japanese signage. So we've just ordered off of electronic vending machine menu, and I can see we can order in Japanese and English, Chinese, maybe Cantonese, Thai, so international place. So we're telling the staff how we want our noodles, whether we want them cut thick or thin, or if we want them al dente or soft, and they will prepare them however we like them. Everybody has a different preference on how they like their noodles. Futsu is also okay, just give them to me standard issue, not too hard, not too soft, not too thin, not too thick. But if we like particularly thick noodles or thin noodles, we can ask the chef to prepare those for us. It's kind of a fun way to just customize your ramen experience. It's said that this is the second best ramen of the tonkatsu ramen of the year. Ichiban. It's got the frothy tonkatsu fat on it. It's got the chashu, tamago, negi, kombu maybe this is what this is, and the nori. Looks pretty tasty. Okay, I'm here with the whole crew. We're sitting at the counter. Boy, it's kind of stinky. And it's just that the boiling vats of pork bones, not for everybody. And apologies to the veggies out there but it's a little intense. But I'm sure this is how you get the really delicious tasting ramen, is to cook and cook and cook and cook that meat until it just, you've cooked the bones down to broth, basically. So excited to have this last ramen. You can enjoy it with me. So a good word to know in Japanese is okawari. Okawari means seconds, please. And if you're at a restaurant, the thought is that the restaurateur wants you to come out of the restaurant full. Do you want another helping of rice or another helping of noodles? They want to make sure that you can get it easily. And so for either no charge or a nominal cost, you can order a second helping of rice or a second helping of noodles. And our little sign here says you can either get a full or a half full refill of noodles for 100 yen, basically, $1. And also, an interesting note about that is when you go to a restaurant like that has like kind of maybe like a rice bowl type dish, they will ask you, what size do you want? And maybe there's no difference in cost at all, and you can order all-mori, which is like big size, tsu, which is like regular, or chu-mori sometimes, is like a little bit bigger than the small one, but I can't finish a big one, or mini or koumori, you can order something a little bit small. And you see a lot of people, I would think, managing their health by not always ordering the extra big size. That is one of the things that the charms of Japanese restaurants is that you can, without any extra charge, you can ask them for a little bit bigger helping, and they'll be delighted to make sure that you get it and that you're full by the time that you leave. Or you can order just a little bit more. Okawari kudasai. A little more, please. Refill, please. I'm definitely not going to be able to go for an okawari for this session. I'm saving room for ice cream. Okay, so my little mini ramen came, and boy, does it ever look tasty. It looks really, really nice. And it's got really heavy, delicious soup, but that is going to be a bomb in my tummy. But it should be really nice. I ordered something I don't normally order, but some wontons. In my ramen. It looks like I've got some little dumplings in here that look really tasty. So that's our last little ramen. The whole crew everybody got their ramen except for my buddy here, and it's coming soon. So yeah, you guys want to see a bite? So there's a whole bunch of little condiments. I'm gonna add in like a little of this yummy sort of pickled, I'm not sure what they are, little pickled cucumbers, or what do we have here? This is some shoga, this is ginger. I'm just add a couple little bites just to add a little something to it. And I also see ramen no tare. This is like the ramen, this will give you like a heavier taste if you want like more ramen punch. And there's some goma seeds, if you like sesame seeds. I mean, why not have a couple of sesame seeds on there? And I think there's even like garlic. If they bring you garlic, they bring you a little garlic press, and that can be a nice thing to have if you're, I don't know, maybe trying to fight off a little cold. But so I've got my chopsticks in my right hand and my renge in my left. Wow, God. It's like pizza. It's freaking good. And I'm just gonna I don't know if I'm doing it right, but I get my ramen. This is the men is the noodles, and I maybe get a little soup in my spoon, and I kind of get maybe this going on a little bit, and then it's I'm botching it. This is the good one. This is the one you want after the night at the club. This is the one that will fix you. I have a rather weak tongue. I can't tolerate the really hot, the one that's so hot, so piping hot. And I see people, I don't know how they do it, but there's a certain technique that you can get into and learn how to suck the noodles so that it's not so burning your tongue. But I'm not so steeped in that technique. Okay, one more bite and then I'm going to enjoy my ramen. Very, very nice. The wonton with the soup. Dang. That is good. Where's your ramen? Did you get one? Too much tonight. You didn't get one. All right. We're going to go have a little treat after this one. I'm going to go enjoy the rest of this, and we'll report back in. Very nice. Very, very nice. Come to Japan for the real thing. This is the real deal. So that was amazing. 2 thumbs up for the Yokohama Ramen Museum. I was just saying to my wife, wow, Ramen Museum is great. The reason probably that we don't eat it anymore, the reason we don't have ramen anymore is because it's just too much. It's just too damn heavy. But the little portion of the ramen, the little version of it is very nice and doable. So we're gonna go down 1958, Edo Poi. It's Tokyo, but there's Peko-chan, old brand Fujiya, all the cool. Let's have a quick look. Here's all the sweets. Dagashima-san. This is all the cakes and all the silly things that you can get from the Dagashima. All the cheap 50 yen, the fake cigarettes, 40 yen. Little cheap snacks that used to be, 5 cents. Oh, no photos. Okay, we're gonna get out of here with the photos. Sorry, no photos. While I'm waiting for my crew, I'll show you. So they have some like ice cream sandwiches, 150 yen here. One of them has the sweet red beans, anko. Some people, non-Japanese people, don't really love. I love it. I've grown to really love it over the years. These are some drinks that we know from the summer festivals, and this one is called ramune. It's got this funny like shape. You can just barely make out that these dimples on the bottle that look like eyeballs. And then there's this really funny lid that you need a little bit of instructions how to open. All the kids love opening it, but basically you rip off this little tab off the top, and then you take this little piece of the tab and you stick it on the bottle and you bonk it once and it goes pop. And this little marble that is inside the top of the bottle falls down into this little area where it can't go down to the bottom of the bottle. It just can sit in this little area and it jingles around in there. It makes for a fun little drink. So that is the summery drink that we all love, ramune. My crew is getting some candies and some sweets and some little kid stuff. Dagashia. So let's go have a little ice cream, and we're coming up on another little shop, and they have, a can of beer is 500 yen, a cola is 300 yen. All the ramens are basically 950 yen for a regular size and 680 for a small size. And if you want rice or maybe a second helping, and they have it in English too. So that's kind of nice. Okay, well, I'm gonna go wait in line for the little ice cream parlor. There's people doing little selfie shots. It's like a little Instagrammable place. Oh, and here's the Ojiso-sama. Ojiso-sama is the god of the children, and we can make a little offering to him, throw a little coin in the coin box. And the reason that I know he's the Ojiso-sama is that he has the little red bib on. And this is so typical of Japan and of Tokyo. You'll see this little space that, I don't know, is owned by nobody. It's the space that gets kept for the kami-sama, for the gods. These guys are doing some selfies. These guys are maybe waiting for the ice cream parlor, and we're going to enjoy kateko and get a soft cream. get a little ice cream, maybe a little sundae, a parfait, and go back to 1958. I'm gonna write my name down here on the list. Okay, we're up. Oh, we're gonna get a seat at the table outside. Okay. I thought we were gonna get to sit inside. Hold on, I just wanna have a quick peek on the inside. I know, I'm coming. I'm just gonna like look at this. Wow, it's really awesome. It's okay? Yeah, it's fine. Okay. Wow, there's a really amazing bar here. It's very cool. Kateko. Thank you. And there's some nice customers and we wanna be mindful of them. And there's just this charming little bar, little kisaten. I don't know what is this called. How do you call? What would you call this place? It's called kisaten.
Yeah, kisaten. Yes.
It's a kisaten. Okay,
Yes.
yeah. So it's kind of an ice creamy soda stand and very cool. Arigatou gozaimasu. And we are going to sit outside on the patio. So we have a little patio seat, and we're going to order some ice cream or something and enjoy here in the moonlight. It's the moonlight. And then they have like a full-on ice cream parlor menu with custard and Bavarian cream and melon soda and coffee jelly and chocolate parfait and soft serve ice cream, coffee, tea, and soft drinks, and a full menu of different kinds of floats and things like that at Kateko. It's a nice menu of things. What are you guys gonna get? What'd you guys decide? I'm gonna get the just plain old soft cream. Just found something cool. So this is a little controller that is right here at the table. This thing. I said, what is that? It's next to the little accoutrements here. And underneath here, there is a little kotatsu. This is a little heater that will keep our feet warm on the outside of the little ice cream parlor. That's quite nice. Japanese kotatsu at the ice cream parlor, outdoor kotatsu. That's a first for me. Pretty cool. They're all laughing at me because I went for the matcha ice cream. I like matcha ice cream, and it has a lot of the matcha dust on it, and they all think that I'm gonna cough up my ice cream. I think I should be fine. Let's have a little taste. Oh, don't knock it over. Amanai. Okay, the matcha ice. It's true. It's dusty. It's a little dusty, but it's nice. It's bitter. It's that bitter loveliness of the. Okay, it's not even matcha ice cream. It's Stop laughing. It's regular soft cream with like matcha powder on it, and now it's all over me. It's nice though. Was she? Actually, I don't know if I've ever had this before. I've always had like the matcha flavored ice cream. I've never had the like matcha dusted soft cream. It's quite nice. Okay. Cheers. I breathe on it and it blows powder all over the place. It's all over me. I turned into a matcha monster. It's tasty though. Okay, if you've made it this far, then I think you deserve to know about the chopstick thing that I was mentioning earlier. I don't want to end on that note because it's a little bit morbid, but the reason that you don't leave your chopsticks in a bowl pointing out like that is because, interestingly, when families deal with the loss of a loved one, the funeral process, rites of passage of death is very intense. You're more or less guided through the cremation process with the undertaker. Part of the process is cremating our loved ones to their dust. And what bones remain, the very few that haven't burned completely in the incineration process, we move the dust and the ashes and the bones into a special receptacle with these very special metal chopsticks. We pass these remains of our loved ones from one person to the next person as a way to grieve, as a deep thing of Japanese culture. It's the reason that we don't pass things that we're eating at the table from one person to another with chopsticks, because it reminds us of the end of life ceremony. It's also the reason that we don't leave our chopsticks sitting out of the bowl, because we only do that during this funeral service. So a very heavy twist there to the Ramen Museum. Didn't want to end on that, but I thought if you made it this far to the video, I would go ahead and reveal that little bit. Didn't want to talk about it while we were sitting there having our ramen. But let me enjoy with my family for a little bit more, and when we cruise on to the next adventure, we'll say goodbye and sign off. So, interesting, man. Okay, time to go. Back up to the station platform. Old school ramen culture. Ooh, the modern family. With the record player. We brought it all back to records. Look at that. Yokata. Okay. All right, well, I wouldn't even mind taking home a t-shirt. I had such a good time. I kind of want a souvenir. They did a pretty good job on those graphic design. I like those. Looks like a record shop t-shirt. Let's read one last thing about umami here. Synergy of umami. 1 + 1 = 4 to 20 plus. Umami causing substances include the glutamic acid in sea kelp, inosinic acid in dried bonita, which is a kind of fish, guanilic acid in dried Chinese mushrooms, and succinic acid in clams. Interesting. The combination of more than one umami-containing substance will greatly enhance it more than when a single substance is used. It is known as the synergy of umami. Japanese discovered umami. Professor Kikunae Ikeda at Tokyo Imperial University successfully extracted glutamic acid from sea kelp in 1908, having identified glutamic acid to be the main component of sea kelp-based soup stock. He named the taste umami in 1908. So the reference there is the Japan Umami Flavor Enhancer Association website. Okay, umami. We just finally got our umami on. Here's Uncle Charumeda. In 1966, an instant noodle product named Myojo Charumeda was released with the catchphrase Machi no Aji, the taste of the town. The package of this product shows a man pulling a Yatai, a mobile foods truck station, rickshaw thing. Myojo Charumera was the first instant noodle product to feature an illustration on the package. Wow. The design was selected from at least 200 suggestions. Okay, that is Uncle Charumera. Okay, so here is our little tribute to instant ramen noodles. There's the cup ramen, the ramen soup in a can, some gacha, some ramen magazines and books, and some ramen making kits, okay? So you can get your spices and noodles and, oh, these are so cool. These are the ramen colanders, the strainers. I've always wanted one of those. And they whoosh, whoosh, they splash them on the floor. The garlic press, the sesame seed chomper, and there's a whole bunch of different dashis and all the different flavors. Oh, I should bring some souvenirs to my office mates for taking the day off. Wow, look at those hokusai bowls. Those are beautiful. Those are the nicest ones we've seen yet. Gorgeous. Wow, these are only 1,500 yen. It's quite reasonable. Chopsticks and funny pillows and pens and whoa, look at that. No way. That's 5,500 yen? Get out. It's pretty cool. Okay, keychains and mascots and t-shirts. Tokyo Shoyu Ramen. Yeah, Tokyo is kind of famous for shoyu ramen, and Sapporo is famous for miso ramen, and Yokohama is ieke ramen. I don't know, Kyoto ramen, they all have their different sort of bases. And okay, nice little gift shop there. Cocoa Puff, ramen sweets? What the heck? That might be the thing to bring back to the office. Ramen Cocoa Puff. I might have to get a couple of those.
pure.
Okay, folks, that concludes our tour of the Dahaku Shin-Yokohama Raumen Museum. Did you enjoy? I did. That was way more fun than I expected. Delicious ramen, really cool vibe, friendly staff, and cheap, pretty cheap. I can highly recommend this great museum. If you're in the Yokohama area and if you love ramen, I highly recommend the Shin-Yokohama Raumen Museum. It's a recommended feature on the Tokyorecordstyle Osusume recommendations. So thank you to the lovely people here and to the lovely staff. I had a great time. And thank you to my family for cheering me on and not the whole time. They were actually wanted to be in the video by the end. A good time for the family and for everybody. So until next time, I'll see you at the ramen shop. Bye.